Welcome to Biztech's Technology Show. Hi, I'm Brian Fernandez, and today we're with New Relic, a leading provider of observability and monitoring solutions that are designed to help organizations to understand and optimize their digital systems. Now, New Relic was founded in 2008 and is headquartered in San Francisco and offers a comprehensive platform that provides real-time insights into application performance, infrastructure health, and user experience. Now, to tell us more, we have Kris, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Asia Pacific and Japan at New Relic. Kris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, for a start, give us a quick overview of New Relic and your role within the company.
Sure. Well, so I lead the Asia Pacific and Japan organization here at New Relic. So let me tell you a little about why we're here in APJ. First of all, in a nutshell, that is because this represents a very significant growth opportunity for New Relic. We really have, I guess, three strategic geographic pillars here, which is across Japan, a very fast-growing part of our business, of course, as they catch up on the digital transformation journey more than anything else. Australia, a very established region for us. Actually, we broadened that out. We also have ASEAN as part of a broader sort of South Asia and Pacific region, and of course, India, a very important region for us as well. Nascent in some ways, but very fast-growing, and we have some very significant customers in that region. It's also an area where we're investing heavily, of course, as everybody is right now. I think our current headcount is now upwards of 200 and growing fast as we deploy roles in GTM, key product engineering roles, user experience, and G&A type capacities as well.
So let's take a step back and Kris, unpack for us, especially the non-tech folks who are watching this. What do your solutions do and how do you help your clients?
Yes, a good question. And how do we keep that non-technical? Let's try. Let's try. Well, so look, in a nutshell, what is observability? Observability is the ability to measure how a system is performing and identify errors based on various kind of external outputs or signals, if you like. These external outputs or signals are from the agents that we deploy, and they give us data in terms of metrics, events, logs, traces. Observability is really about quickly finding the what, the when, the why, and the how of any problems that might be impacting a user experience. Now, you may also hear the term full stack observability, and that's kind of an important differentiation because we come from the app space, the APM, application performance monitoring space. We're a specialist there, and that's kind of important because application is the closest thing to your user. It's how your customer interacts with your business. It's where the revenue impact comes from. It's where the customer experience is most directly impacted. But of course, it's not only the application that impacts the business or the user experience. There's also the infrastructure, there's the network, and there's other entities. And we can deploy agents across all of these entities, which enables us to gather these metrics, events, logs, traces, these signals to help you resolve issues faster, ensure operational efficiency, and frankly, build quality software to deliver exceptional user experiences. Now, there's another important sort of differentiation, if I can here, and that is, look, gathering all of this data into what we call a data cloud and making it available to SREs, software engineers, essentially, is great because they know what to do with it and they can use it to guide their coding, their software engineering and development, as I say, to build quality software. But it's not just about providing the raw data. We also capture and present that data in the form of what we call an insight cloud. And the insight cloud is about repurposing some of that data so that it makes much more sense to executive and business audiences rather than just technical or telemetry data. So it's about collecting, analyzing, alerting, and correlating the data for improved sort of uptime and performance, if you like.
And this is very, very important because, Kris, then if this if you're able to present the data in a manner that senior executives can understand it, this really will then help them in terms of making the or approving the necessary investments to spur innovation and connectivity uh, uh, and also help their digital transformation, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, and there's many parts of that digital transformation journey that we touch. I mean, some of that is about you know, innovating, justifying expenditure, and I can give you a customer example of that in a moment. But you know, it's not just about that. It's also about efficiencies, driving operational efficiencies and cost optimizations, even in those environments as well. So yes, it can absolutely help you innovate faster, but you know, digital transformation is rife. It's particularly aggressive here in the Asia Pacific and Japan region. And, you know, as you invest in those transformations, as you kind of embrace those new technology trends and demand increases for investment in those platforms, so too does your cloud and hosting costs. So driving greater operational efficiencies and cost optimization is a crucial part of that journey. And we have tools that help achieve that. I'd say here at New Relic, for example, of course, we eat our own dog food, to use the well-known analogy there. And we've optimized our own cloud costs, and we've seen more than a 60% reduction in our AWS spend as a result of some of the platforms that we've implemented. I'd say typically we can very reliably expect somewhere between 20–30% in terms of reduction in public cloud costs. So, you know, this is very significant in more ways than one, not just on the innovation side, but also on the cost optimization side as well.
No, and that's a very crucial point, Kris, because you know, because of COVID, companies were forced to innovate. They were forced to make investments in digital transformation. But today, in 2024, CFOs, CEOs are asking harder questions. When is the return on my investment coming in? And as you pointed out, if you can show cost savings of that sort of magnitude, that then allows the CIO to then make further investments in order to go down that efficiency curve.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And there is no avoiding it. There is no getting away from it. I mean, you know, we are all digital businesses now, whether we like it or not. It is how customers want to interact with us. It is how we must interact with them. And the fastest way to build clouds, as fastest way to build apps and to innovate with the software that essentially is our window into that customer or that user is in the cloud. Is, you know, people don't necessarily move there for cost savings, or at least that's not the only reasons they move there. I mean, my history is in infrastructure, and I know from that history that they moved to public cloud primarily for greater agility. They moved there so that they can build apps faster, and that involves, you know, embracing technologies like microservices, for example. But the problem with that is you're creating a data management problem, your data management headache, right? Because, you know, you don't get rid of legacy. You might want to build new apps in this new environment. You might want to migrate apps into this new environment, but not all of them will go there. Some of them will remain on-prem and in legacy environments. Some of them might go into a hosted environment. So you're going to end up with some form of hybrid type of environment, and, you know, the data becomes horribly distributed and increasingly dynamic and diverse with the tools and technologies that you use. And like I said, that's very hard from a data management perspective. So, you know, we've got to focus on, yes, the benefits of substantial, but the complexities of cloud raise challenges. And to your earlier point, you've got to be able to bring that back to cost savings. You've got to be able to justify those investments to enable you to move faster. And, you know, look, observability plays a very critical role in all of that.
Now, I want to take you up on a point that you mentioned earlier around Asia Pacific being really aggressive in its adoption of technology. Your new Relic Observability Forecast 2023 found that markets in ASEAN achieve remarkably high ROIs for observability, and Indonesia and Singapore had a median annual ROI of a staggering 167%. which is the highest of any other country surveyed. Could you walk us through your forecast, your observability forecast survey, and tell us some of the insights that we could glean out of that?
Yeah, there was a fascinating report, obviously available on our website in its entirety, but there was lots of revelations in there. You're absolutely right about what you say about Singapore, and I think Indonesia was the other one you mentioned. But really, it was about how New Relic can help companies boost revenue and cut costs, and how they can, make a business case for the benefits of observability. So, particularly, I think in the APAC region, there's a lot of, or there has been, market instability. Organizations really need to focus on differentiation. Yeah, as I say, that differentiation comes in the form of building out your digital capability, your apps, your presence, and observability in many ways can be a secret sauce to help organizations deliver the best and most exceptional customer experiences. That's not just about avoiding unplanned outages and innovating, but it is about delivering that exceptional customer experience. Establishing personalized, proactive, and predictive types of customer experiences, all a part of that, and all become more important than ever, which is why organizations here in that APAC region lean into this. But it's also about ensuring that you've got the right functionality, and that you've got smooth processes in place during an organization's biggest moments. I mean, one of our network customers recently was broadcasting the Olympics. I just said for them that was a pretty big moment, right? That's the time where they need to lean into partnerships and technologies and platforms like ours to make sure they are delivering an exceptional experience. It might be in the world of retail, the launch of a latest product, maybe the latest iPhone or the Samsung phone, or it might be on a big $1 billion sale day, or a Black Friday sales day. These are the big moments that you need to turn up and deliver that type of experience for your customers. And so there's a lot of cost efficiencies that can be achieved, as I've talked about with the cloud savings. But what we help you really do is deliver that experience by making sure that things are running smoothly, and they matter when you're delivering your big moments.
And Kris, when you were just explaining that, you're talking about a Black Friday sale, I was just thinking of the potential impact if you can't participate because of something that falls apart or doesn't work correctly or efficiently. The millions or potentially billions of dollars, depending on the size of your organization, you could be missing out on if, for example, the technology doesn't work efficiently. And that really sort of is the ROI for this, isn't it? In a nutshell, your big moments.
Absolutely. And people, I mean, this comes back to the very start of our conversation, right? I mean, you asked about, or we talked about it being a technology, and how do we talk about it in non-technology terms? The reality is that observability is not about the telemetry or the data that we provide at all. It's about increasing revenues. It is about avoiding cost, and it is about mitigating and managing and reducing risk. Ultimately, they're the things that we provide. They're the things that the New Relic platform provides to its customers. It doesn't, the data is just a vehicle of achieving that, really.
Now, we can't have a conversation like this without talking about AI. And so, Kris, without sounding cliched, how is AI impacting the world of observability, and how is that making things just a lot easier and a lot more efficient for companies to run their businesses?
Yeah. AI, look, every company's an AI company, right? Have you noticed that? They're an
Yes.
AI company. Every company's an AI. You're right. Look, AI is a huge opportunity, I think, across the world, really. But you read many reports that would say that AI is, more accelerated here in the APAC region, where it is, of course, a huge opportunity. I think sometimes you've got to be careful, because the focus shouldn't just be on the technology. It should always be on the building the connections between the technology and the engineers that are ultimately driving stuff at the back end as well, right? So AI can, identify trends and increasingly diagnose problems, and is a highly capable tool for us all. But software engineers still need to steer the use of technology in the right direction. So I think observability is essential to helping teams manage that complexity, and organizations that leverage observability will be able to accelerate their use of AI and use it as a tool to kind of win against the competition. It's also kind of interesting, I think, coming back to the original point, though, because there's a real almost cyclical, like a symbiotic nature of the relationship between AI and observability, because AI feeds off data, right? It gets bigger, stronger, better, and faster with the more data that it's able to ingest. Observability, it by its very nature creates data, finds data, right? Creates insight from data that it captures. So it captures this data, it provides insight into the AI engine, and the AI engine gets bigger and stronger, and it becomes this cyclical, symbiotic connection between the two, right? So yeah, I'd say that AI is exciting for all of the things that it helps businesses achieve, but it's also very exciting for the demand that it drives for observability on the back end as well, in more ways than one.
Kris, it's been a fascinating and very educational conversation, and I've learned a lot. But before we leave, any final thoughts you'd like to leave the audience with, particularly the CIOs and board members in the region who will be looking to observability to help optimize their solutions?
Yeah, so observability has been on a fascinating journey, even in the time, the near 2 years that I've been in the industry, but long before that as well. I mean, it's been an evolution, right? It started as monitoring, really, and then evolved and became this observability capability, which is so much more now. It used to be in its early forms. I used to be, and still is, really, to some degree, about RCA, about root cause analysis, getting to root cause analysis of problems very quickly and managing the multiple tools that are often in place, and of course, avoiding unwanted and costly surprises. You often hear about things like mean time to failure and mean time to resolution. It is, of course, still about those at its most basic level, but now increasingly, it is about getting to actionable business insights that relate to revenue, cost, and value, rather than just telemetry, as we kind of talked about earlier in this conversation. I'd say that observability, the journey or the practice, really starts with the app, and that's really a sweet spot for us. As I say, we started in APM, but it is the app that is the closest to your customer, that is the closest to dollars, real dollars, revenue generation, and you have to start with ensuring performance, reliability, security, which all tie back directly to delivering an exceptional customer experience. And anybody that's out there looking for an observability platform should be squarely focused on finding the solution that doesn't solve particular problems as a point solution, but they can scale with, that they can really build out a strategy, a complete observability strategy with, that delivers in turn business value in some of the ways that we've discussed.
Kris, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show. I enjoyed this.
I've enjoyed it enormously. Thank you so much for having me, Brian. I appreciate it.
We've been speaking to Kris Days, the Senior Vice President and General Manager, Asia Pacific and Japan at New Relic. I'm Brian Fernandez, and you've been watching and listening to Biztech's Technology Show. This interview will be on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and websites. Thanks a lot for tuning in.